Hey, YouTube and Facebook family, it's your girl Cheryl, and welcome to Cheryl Thomas Speaks and our Ready for Love edition. I am so geeked about tonight. If you have been watching the series Ready for Love, whether that has been just this season or if you've been like me, you've watched every season, I need you to let me know in the comments. I want to see how many Ready for Love diehard fans that we have here. Let me know. Number one, say hello. Tell me where you are tuning in from and how many seasons of Ready for Love have you watched. This is season number 3. I have watched all of the seasons. It's always entertaining to me, and I love kind of looking at the contestants or the cast members, watching them walk through the process. Um, all of us, especially if we're single, we want love and we're looking for ways um, to be more ready for love. Or are we ready for love? I think those are questions that we have to ask ourselves. Am I ready for love? I think I am ready for love, but when it comes down to it, am I really ready for love? So if you are a young lady and you're watching this and you are ready for love, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad as well because I want to see your comments. I'm trying to make sure I can pull them up here as well. Hello, Lady Tate. Thanks so much for joining. Blessings to you too. And if you are on here and you are married and you know somebody that's ready for love, or you just actually love love, and so you like watching all of the shows, let me know that in the comments as well. I love love. I am single, never been married, believing God for that. But I absolutely love love. So my sisters will tell you I am always watching romance, whether it's a movie, whether it's romantic comedy, actually writing a romance novel at the present moment. So I'm always consuming anything about love and relationships and all of that. So I absolutely love Ready for Love. And I've been watching it for a while. And so I'm going to give everybody just another moment to pop in. And then we're going to just jump in to the season or the series. And I believe we've gone through 6 different episodes of the season. And so I know I'm late to the game. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, to be honest, I wrestled with whether or not I was going to do this because I've been wanting to do it all season long and go episode by episode and kind of, just chop it up and talk about what's been going on. And I just never did it. And I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. How are people going to feel about me, going through this? And then I just decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. People are going to talk either way. So we're going to just jump in here. We're going to dive in. And for those of you that are new and you don't know me, my name is Cheryl Thomas. I'm a minister. I'm a best-selling author and certified Christian life coach. On my YouTube channel, it is geared towards single Christian women, teaching you how to be active, involved in your whole life, not to put your life on hold, waiting for your king to come, knowing that he is coming, but putting everything, all the pieces together to make sure that you are that Proverbs 31 woman receiving an Ephesians 5 man all at the same time. And so that's what we do on my YouTube channel, Cheryl Thomas Speaks. So if you're here on YouTube, let me know. Say hello in the comments. If you are on my Facebook page, let me know that you're there too and say hello to me there. So let's jump into this season, y'all, and I'm going to try not to miss anything. Y'all let me know in the comments if I am missing anything. Hey, Tamara, thanks so much for joining. Oh, so this is your first season. Awesome, awesome. A newbie in the house. Thank you so much for joining. As you come in, like and share so that we can have others on here as well, because I want to hear you all's feedback. I want to hear you all's comments. So I want to just kind of go play by play and dive through this current season of Ready for Love. And so I'm going to go through this, and I want to go through the individuals that are on here. And we're going to start walking through this through the people that have already been eliminated. And for those of you that watch the show, you know that it is a reality show hosted on the OWN network. And it hosts a cast of African American men and women who are looking for love, looking for that special person in life. They are dating towards marriage. They're looking for a life partner. They're tired of the whole, just dating to get to know somebody. They've been trying to meet, quote unquote, the one and haven't had success. And so they're using this avenue, and it's exciting. And this is the first time in the Ready for Love series where they have taken them outside of their work environments and put them on a resort where they just have undivided time to get to know one another. And so you have 20 people, 10 men and 10 women looking for love, looking for a connection. And so they're kind of like dropped on this particular resort, and they get to know one another. And like I said, we're about 6 episodes into this series. And so I want to start out with the individuals who are no longer on the show. So that's how I kind of want to drop into this. We're going to talk about the people that aren't on the show. And so these people have already been eliminated. That's Danielle, Raymond, and Samuel. I believe Danielle and Samuel got eliminated from the very first show. And I want to hear how you all feel about this. Hey, Jessica, thanks so much for joining. It hurt my heart when Danielle was eliminated because I really believe that she's ready for love. And I don't think the men gave her enough of a chance. Just, eliminating her from that first show. She's a very mature woman. To me, she seemed very grounded, very well rounded. And I was kind of hurt that they eliminated her so quickly. I was like, you don't even really get to know her. Maybe she was a lot more reserved, though. Some of the other women weren't very reserved. They were very in your face. Hello, I'm here. Notice me, see me. And Danielle was just a little kind of laid back in the cut. And a lot of the guys thought that she was more of girl next door. She was more of your home girl, that they didn't really feel a romantic connection with her. Only she got, how do they say it? She got friend zoned that very first show. And so I felt bad for her. If y'all felt bad for her, y'all let me know in the comments. Was I the only one that kind of felt bad for Danielle, that her journey started and ended on the same day? I was like, she didn't even get to unpack her bags and get to the resort because she was gone so quickly. And then we remember Raymond, or if y'all remember Raymond. And let me, I want to pull up some of the stats for them, because I want to be able to kind of tell you who they were for those of you who didn't watch it. Danielle was 40 years old, and she was an oil and gas project coordinator. Smart lady. And then we're talking about Raymond. He was 52, and he was a professional guitarist. If you all remember Raymond, Raymond was the man that had 5 children. He was the musician. And I think a lot of the ladies had a problem. Not number one, that he had 5 children. Every time he said that, he might should have held that just a little bit longer. But every time he said that, you could see the women recoil like, you got 5 kids? That might be a little much. 5? Did you say 5? What did they go 5? So I think it was a little bit too much. And then the fact of him being a musician and being on the road, the whole mentality that some people have, or the ideology that people have about musicians, I think that was a disservice to him as well. And so I didn't get to know him well, or none of us really got to know him well, because he was eliminated so quickly. But those things, him being a musician, him having 5 children, and I think most of the children were from different women, so I think that kind of didn't help either. So he was eliminated. And then we have Samuel. Samuel was 36 years old, and he's what they call a visual artist. He was a creative type. And y'all know how creatives are. They're a little different. And so, yeah, Samuel was a little different. And let me know how you all felt about Samuel. For me, he was really hard to gauge. It was hard for me to get a really good feel about who he was. I could never really, I don't know, I couldn't pick up on the person, the foundation of who he was. He was also very quiet to himself, and they kept trying to kind of pull him out, trying to get him to talk. But then when he would talk, he would say something real different. Now, y'all, if that's just me, y'all let me know in the comments if that's just me. But yeah, he was real different. He was real different. But so for me, some of the people that got eliminated really, really quickly, I felt bad for them because it was like they really didn't have enough time to shine. We didn't really get enough time to know who they were. And so let's talk about the next group of people that are now eliminated. David, Alicia, and Shay. Now, David was eliminated, I believe, the second show. David was 36 and he was in the oil industry. I felt bad for how David was eliminated because if y'all remember, I believe Denise eliminated David. It was for me, it was a train wreck. I just didn't like the spirit with which she eliminated him. And y'all let me know, was that just me? Did y'all like the way she eliminated him? Did y'all like the way she talked to him when it was his time to leave? Because number one, it's hard enough to be thrust in a situation where you're meeting, you know, strangers and you're trying to feel them out to see if there's any kind of connection. And then when there's nobody that feels a connection with you, to be told in such a way about who you are, how you present yourself in a way that was almost crass. Um, I was a little, I didn't like the way she eliminated him, but that might just be me. I didn't like the way she handled that, but so be it. So he was eliminated. Then Alicia was eliminated. Alicia is 38 years old, and she was a hospital clinic coordinator. She had the issue with Brian. She liked Brian, but Brian didn't really like her. And this is an object lesson for ladies. And y'all tell me, hey, Eval, thanks so much for joining. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this. Um, she liked Brian. She had already shown some kind of signs that she liked Brian, but then she started going real, really hard for Brian. And I think he had some interest in her, but by that time he was kind of feeling somebody else. And I think she came on too strong to him that he just kind of went the other way. And so I think that's an object lesson for us ladies that men don't mind us showing interest in them, but I don't know if they feel like they or if they want to feel like they're being chased. I almost felt like she was almost chasing Brian or running after Brian. It was like, okay, you've let him know that you're interested. You know, pull back a little bit to see if it's mutual or if it is equal. If he'll meet you halfway with the interest. And so I think she ran him away. Now he did go a little, he kind of, yeah, but he did whatever he did. So, and I want to hear y'all in the comments. I don't want y'all just to hear my commentary. I want to see what you all think about these characters, these cast members as well. And then the last person that got eliminated in our last session was Shay. Now I liked Shay. Shay was comical, but it was almost like Shay wasn't there for love. It was like Shay was there to be the comedian. But I understand somewhat because sometimes when you are in an uncomfortable situation, comedy, being funny is a defense. And so she was being funny and comical and da 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 da. But I don't know if any of the men felt like she was really interested in them, if she was really there for love. And so you never really saw her um, show an interest, or even vice versa. You never saw the men show a lot of interest in Shay other than just, friendly, just, the funny girl. And so I think that could have served a disservice to her for her not actually saying, hey, I am here for love. I am not just here to make y'all laugh and, all of that. We're all here for a purpose. Not that that's something you have to drill in every time you're around somebody, but they need to know that you're open for that. And I never really got that vibe from her. All right, so we've talked about the people that have been eliminated. So let's jump into some of these. What do I want to call them? Let's see. Some of these situations that can be problematic. And so you see the picture I have up. It's of two women and two men. Both of these women like both of these men, and both of these men like these same women. And it was to see this playing out was really, really interesting. For number one, I will give them props because I think they're handling it in a mature way. Both of the women know that they like the same men. But they're still friendly. That's what I found so refreshing. That it wasn't catty, that it's not, I like him, girl, and you can't like him. It wasn't any of that. It's like, I'm interested in him too. I see him as, a viable option. But they're both still really nice to each other. They're both still really cordial. They hang out during the show. And so for me, that was good to see that you can be cordial, you can be friendly with somebody, even though you know that you have interest in the same people. Now, um, that being said, oh, I have someone said they didn't keep up. Well, this is a good rundown for you so that when it comes on this Friday, you can watch it. And I want to know who y'all are rooting for in this little foursome, or if you are rooting for any of them to connect. Do you think Joy would be better with Edwin or with Jay? Do you think Winter would be better with Edwin or Jay? Or do you think they need to just scrap this whole little thing they have and seek interest in somebody else? I want to get your feedback. I want to see how you feel about that. That's always interesting to me to see how people respond and how people act in those kinds of situations. And like I said, for me, it is refreshing to see that they aren't tripping about it, like some people would be. And y'all know that it could be where that would happen. But I'm glad to see that that's not how they are approaching it. And so I want to get y'all's feedback on that little foursome as well. And then I want to bring up this twosome because I want to sit here for a minute and talk about Denise and Calfani. Denise, hey, Penny, thanks so much for joining. I see you here. I'm just pulling up YouTube and I hadn't seen you earlier. Thanks so much for joining. Let me go through. Okay, there's buffering. I am so sorry. Oh wow. I didn't know it was buffering. I'm hoping that it works itself out and that it's just not a whole lot of back and forth. But anyway, Denise and Cal Fani. Now y'all, I'm gonna give a disclaimer here. I wasn't a huge fan of Denise. And you all could probably tell that in my commentary about how she handled dismissing our wonderful brother when it was his time to leave the resort. Denise has an edge. From hearing more about her story, we find out it's some of the heartbreak that she's gone through, that women and men, we all go through heartbreak. So she's been through not just regular heartbreak, but she's been through some very, very traumatic um, situations as far as in relationships, fearing for her life and all that. So I get that. So she has a really sharp edge um, that is presented and that is evident. And sometimes I think we may not know that we have a harshness about us from just living life through life circumstances. So I don't even know if it registers with her or that she is even aware that she comes across really hard to people, almost callous, almost just, I don't even know how I could more nicely say it than just sharp. She's really sharp and she's really harsh, even in how she's dealing with the other women liking Kalfani. Because for the men, Kalfani is one of the favorites. Everybody knows that everybody loves Kalfani. Um, and I forgot to keep going through who they were, but Kalfani, he is 38, is a professional bodybuilder. And you can't see it on this picture, but if you watch Ready to Love, you know that Kalfani is cut, he is built. Like most women like him. That is who Kalfani is. And so, because he is a nice cup of coffee, the women are just all over him. But to me, they seem to be almost mismatched. But they say opposites attract. They seem to be a mismatch because Kalfani is really easygoing. He's just kind of laid back. And Denise is like in your face, like I'll cut you till you bleed and I'll watch you die. That's how she kind of comes across to me. Like, oh, you died? Oh, well, you shouldn't have walked in front of that knife that I had in my hand. So it'll be interesting to see as time moves on, as she was almost eliminated last week. She got through by the hair of her chinny chin chin, and I think because of Kalfani that she is still here among us on the show. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out if she actually moves on with Kalfani. If he decides that she's what he wants, I'm not sure if that will be his decision, if he will look that way. Hey Marie, thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you jumping in here. Hello Rayon, thanks so much for joining. I'm just trying to go through my YouTube to check him. Oh, and so y'all let me know what y'all think about the Kalfani Denise connection. Do y'all think that's gonna work? Or do y'all think that Denise will lose interest or that Kalfani will lose interest? Let me know if you think that connection is going to work. Hey Ashley, thanks so much for joining. Let me know how y'all think. I'm not really knowing how that's going to rock and roll, but stranger things have happened. So we just don't know. Here's another trio: Adriana, Kalfani, and Rashid. Now I have Adriana all big up on the screen because Adriana is this young brown beauty. That she has this, just likable character, but she's kind of demure. And I don't know if y'all get the same vibe, but it seems like Adriana kind of sneaky too. It might just be me, but she seems to have like this little undercurrent of cunning. Let me not call her sneaky. Let me call her cunning. I think Adriana is cunning. Um, on the surface, she appears demure and innocent, but I think Adriana has most people fooled. I think Adriana is cunning, and I think Adriana is working it. She is working this business. She is working it in her favor because Adriana, when they first got there, she knew Rashid. She and Rashid had gone out before this show. And it didn't work out because I believe Rashid had just recently been divorced and he was working through all of that. But now I guess Rashid is all healed and whole and he's ready for love. And so she already has an interest in Rashid. But like I told y'all, Kalfani is this tall cup of coffee. that she is also eyeing. And, there's interest there. And you can see the undercurrent, or everybody that's watching the show, y'all know that she and Denise have this little thing, because in Denise's mind, Calfani is her man already. In Denise's mind, Calfani is off limits. But when you're in this kind of environment, nobody is your man yet. Which is why, y'all, I don't know if I could do a reality dating show. I used to say I could do it, and I wanted to set one up for Christian men and women. I thought that would be the coolest thing, is to have a love reality show for Christian, because I have so many Christian girlfriends that are single that want to be married. I know so many Christian single guys that want to be married and that are looking for quality women. And so I was thinking we could do this for Christian women, but I don't know, y'all, or Christians. Y'all let me know if y'all think that's a good idea in the comments. Do y'all think that would, yes, Ashley, a nice cup of coffee. Yes, he is, a nice cup of coffee. I like a little coffee. But anyway, would this is the question I want to ask. Would you be on, all the Christians that are in here, would you be on a Christian dating reality show? I want to know in the comments. Let me know if you yourself would be on a Christian dating reality show. I thought I would several years ago. Right now, watching this, yo, I don't even know if it would be that much different, because a lot of times I think that Christians think we're so much different in our behavior and our responses. But I have seen Christian women trip over men. I don't know if I'm the only one. I have seen Christian women, a new man comes to the church, he gets saved, he loves the Lord, and he looks good too. Oh, I have seen Christian women almost go to blows. So I'm not sure we would be very much better. So, but let me know. Do you think that was something that you would do? Marie says, very good idea, but I won't be on the show though. Right. I don't know if I can handle it. Because, like, if I got cut on the first show, all my feelings would be hurt. But here's the thing, I would probably get cut on the first show, because I know I do public speaking. I'm a minister. I do all of that, pulpit platform speaking. But in actuality, I'm an introvert. So I would be the Danielle. I would be in the cut. I would just be the nice friend. I'd be talking to everybody. But I don't know if I would be Miss Adriana Cunning and working these men. I probably wouldn't do that. So I would be just like Danielle. I'd be walking out on the first night wondering what happened. Like, why didn't they like me? Why did everybody friend zone me? But that would be me. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would make it. They'd be cutting me like, no, you can't even come in the show. All righty, let's talk about these two, Alex and Brian. Y'all, I was rooting for Alex and Brian because I thought they were just the cutest couple. She was this beauty. She seemed to have it all: brains, beauty. I like the way she connected with the other women, because when I'm watching a show, I'm not just watching how the women are connecting with the men. I'm watching how the women are connecting with women. And I think more men need to watch that. When you are choosing, men, if you're on here, when you are choosing a wife, when you are believing God for a wife and you are looking, don't look just how that woman connects with men, connects with your friends, connects with your guys. Watch how she connects with women. That tells you a whole lot about who she is. It tells you a whole lot about how your life will be. Um, and so I like how she moves among the women, how she's just easygoing. She's confident and she's sure in who she is. And she likes Brian, and they have liked each other from Jump Street. But when Brian had the mishap and decided he was going to go to Alicia's room, and then kind of blew Alicia off and then went to see Alex, I thought, well, Brian might not be who I thought he was, because he looks like this clean cut, just really good guy. And maybe he got caught up with all this beauty, all these women and the choices. And y'all know how sometimes we can be when we give us too many choices, we can't make decisions. We fumble. And he fumbled that night because he had just gone on a date with Alicia. He walked Alicia back to her room. Alicia wasn't done for the night. So Alicia said, "Hey, you want to come back later and we can watch a movie?" He said, "Okay, give me about, I think he told her 15, 20 minutes. He was going to take a shower and come back." Brian walked out of Alicia's room and went straight to Alex because he wanted to see Alex before the night was over. So you know where his heart is. His heart is with Alex. He went to get sugar before the night was over. And then never went back to Alicia's room. Stood her up, no call, no nothing, just didn't show up. So for me, that's not even a red flag. That's like, yeah, that's too many things. That's too many things. So yes, Ashley said the dating of men along with a bunch of women is a strong no for me. That would I don't and I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think my ego can handle that. That's just the truth. I I don't think I could do it. And Marie says you are watching the dynamics of both parties toward each other and themselves. Exactly. Penny says that's a no. It's just so many moving parts. I think my ego would be bruised because when you are and here's the truth of the matter. This is probably really what happens in real life. You just don't get to see it. The guy that you're dating is, if you're not in an exclusive relationship, he's likely dating somebody else. You just don't get to see it. But when you're in this concentrated environment, you get to see it. And so your emotions are involved, your ego is involved. And, depending on who that woman is, she could be flaunting it. And that's just a whole lot. That's a whole lot. So I don't know if yeah. So let me know, is it a yes or no for Alex and Brian? Do y'all think they're gonna make it? Do you think Alex should do you think Alex can trust Brian? Is he trustworthy? I want y'all to let me know, is he trustworthy? I like that. Ashley, she says similar for women. I want to hear a guy's friends talk about women. I think that says a lot about him. That is so true. Let me tell you all this. When I grew up, um, I grew up around my relatives. We grew up, all of my mom's siblings, all of us grew up pretty much within 10, 20 miles of each other. So all of my first cousins, we grew up around each other. But in my age range, there were only guys. Like my sisters, they had our first cousins, they had girls in their age range. In my age range, it was only guys. And I think one of the things for me that makes me a lot wary is because I have heard how guys talk about girls. Because I was like the home girl, because I was their cousin. And so I would hear how they talked about women. I would hear how they talked about the girls they dated around me. They felt comfortable around me talking about them because I was their cousin. I would watch these girls walk up to them, kiki kaka, because I have very handsome guy relatives, and they'd be, just talking, and they'd be swooning all over my guy cousins, and then they would walk off, and I would hear what they would say about those women when they left. And in my mind, I said, I will never let a man talk about me like that. I will never be in a position where I am thinking that he is all over me, that he is loving me. And then she walks off and he doesn't say, they wasn't saying anything nice. Like nothing nice. It was, and I won't tell who they were. It was almost degrading, the kinds of things that they would say about these women. And so how a man sees women, I know, is very, very important. How he thinks about women, how he esteems and values women comes out in the way he speaks about them. So I know that to be true. To be true. You want to know how a man thinks about women? Listen at how he talks about the women that are around him. It will tell you everything that you need to know. Okay, y'all. I want to save this one for close to last. Nia and Christopher. I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel about Nia and Christopher. I was rooting for them, y'all, because from Jump Street, Nia and Christopher were like attached at the hip. It was like, you know, how they say, love at first sight, and you meet somebody and you know that that person is the one and you're so excited. It was like they all automatically connected. They automatically clicked until somebody tell me in comments what happened that made the ship start sinking for this wonderful couple. I just and it and this is a testament to the fragility of infatuation, to the fragility of when you first meet someone and you're getting to know them and you let your emotions take over before you know who that person is. Because when Nia found out that Christopher wanted to start splitting bills, they had this conversation. The women were allowed to bring their good friends, their best friends, to meet the man that they were interested in, to kind of get, a subjective, objective viewpoint of who these guys were, so they could ask questions that maybe, how sometimes when you like somebody, you're so blinded with infatuation that you don't ask the kinds of questions that you need to ask. And so they asked about, finances. How would finances be handled in the household? When Chris started saying we splitting mortgage and cable bill and phone bill, everything Nia felt for Christopher went out the window, because she was not splitting bills. Because in her mind, there were certain gender roles that a man plays, a gender role that a woman plays. And she sees the man as the primary breadwinner. And if they had had that conversation earlier, before her heart was invested, then she would have known earlier. And so I think that's a lesson for us women, is to, before you start investing your heart, you take your head into an interest first, and you reserve your heart. So just in case that person's ideologies, the way that person thinks, it doesn't line up with you, then your heart is not in it. Although I don't know if Nia's heart was ever in it, because for me, it wasn't so bad that was a difference in how they saw each other. I don't mind that Nia wanted, or wants her husband to be the primary breadwinner, and that maybe she wants to stay home and have children and take care of the house. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's all well and fine. I think that's great. But the problem I had with Nia was that after she found that out, she cut that boy off like it was. I was hurt for Chris. Let me just say that. I was hurt for him, and I don't even know him, because it's okay for you to say, that doesn't line up with the way that I see marriage. It doesn't line up with the way that I want to enter into a relationship. And so she almost pretended when the women met to decide who they were going to eliminate, like she never even liked Christopher, like he was never her number one, which he was. And she had said that to all the women. I'm like, how are you going to take him from being like the person that you're interested in, that you're telling everybody that you all are kissing and that he's the one, and then all of a sudden, and he was never my number one. So to me, the way she disrespected him told me something about her. And yeah. So it put Nia for me like on in a space that I didn't have her before, because I really liked her before. I liked that they were so into each other. But what is that famous Maya Angelou quote? Just when people show you who they are, believe them. Nia didn't just show Christopher who she was. And if they were all watching, every man in there knows now who Nia is. And not just, and when I say who Nia is, I'm not even talking about her wanting to the man to be the breadwinner. I think that is perfect. I think that is fine. I celebrate that. I don't have a problem with that. Make all the money. I could be at home raising children and whatever. I don't have a problem with that. My problem was the way she handled that and the way she did that and the way she almost belittled him and poo-pooed on what they had previously. I didn't like that part of it. I just thought that was really it was really interesting how she did it. And for me to know that you could do that, that says something. And see, this is the thing I think men miss. Because for women, we see, oh no, no, no. It's not just that she didn't she wants to be at home and she wants you to be the major breadwinner. She doesn't want to be splitting mortgage. She wants you to take all of the bills and whatever she has is lagna, as they say in Louisiana. That's just gravy. That's just extra. That's fine to be that way. But the way she cut him down like he was insignificant. And if you all saw when they eliminated Chris, oh, my heart went out to him. That man sat in that chair after he got eliminated and was in a daze. He was so hurt. He was so broken because he was blindsided. He did not see that coming. His last words were, I'm going to just come out. I'm not looking for love right now. I need to sit back and be healed. Oh my God. I was so hurt for him. I was like, oh, he is wounded for real. She had him going and then dropped him off like, I hope you can figure out how to go from here. I hope you okay. It was unreal. Oh, Marie says we don't have this kind of show in the UK. It's very interesting and we have them everywhere. We have so many of them, so many of them. And maybe that's something y'all need to do is bring them to the UK. That'd be cool to see how you all date. What is the process different? Do you think differently about it? How it works? I would love to see something like that. Okay, y'all, and so I'm gonna end with these are what I call wild cards. Two of the people on this screen I haven't even talked about tonight, and that's Simone and Anthony. I think Anthony is a really nice guy, but he doesn't seem to be connecting, or I haven't really seen him gravitate to one person. And so I'm not kind of sure. That's why I call him a wild card. I call Simone a wild card too. Simone was liking Jay, but Simone got jealous because Jay wasn't showing her the attention that she wanted. Now, when I remember I put the foursome up there, it was Winter, Joy, Jay, and Edwin. Jay was paying attention to Winter and Joy, and Simone got jealous. And Simone called herself telling on Jay to Joy because Winter and he went in her room. But this was a redeeming factor for me for Simone that I don't think a lot of women would have done, is that she admitted she was jealous. She admitted that what she did was childish and that she shouldn't have done it. I think a lot of women probably would have glossed over that and would have pretended like, well, he did it, that was wrong. But she was so vulnerable, that she felt insecure because here are all these beautiful women and she's used to being, the woman that men flock after. But here in this setting, the men aren't flocking after her. So she's jealous and she feels like she has to do something to gain their attention. I know women that do that all the time, but they aren't as mature to be honest about it, to say that. And while I applaud Simone for that, I think that for the men, it was a turn off. So I don't know how long Simone is going to last. She's the attorney of the group. And so I don't know if the men will feel like they can trust her, that she won't be like this overly jealous woman in a relationship that they'll have to contend with. So because that's already showing you some of those traits. And so I don't know if Simone is going to last very much longer, although I think she's a beautiful woman. She's very intelligent. And she did mention as well that she's dealing with some insecurities. The show brought out some insecurities as a woman that she has to work through. But for me, that may be what it was meant to get out of this show, was to bring those insecurities to surface so that she can work on that, so that when God does bring her the man for her, that she's ready for him, that she's secure in who she is, and she'll know that that man loves her and he's going to be with her. There's something about her and that a man can't get from anywhere else. And that's what women have to know. There's something about me that this man can't get anywhere else. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how smart she is. There's something that I host on the inside of me that he can only get from me, that gives you that kind of security, that gives you that kind of assurance and that kind of stability. Naya, I'm almost just ready for Naya to go. For me, the way she did Chris, they could cut her next week. Although it'll be flip side, and the women will now get to choose to cut them in. For me, Naya could just actually go. Y'all could tell I didn't like the way she did that, man. That was cruel to me. It was so cruel how she did him. Now, if I'm being harsh, y'all let me know in the comments. Say, Cheryl, it wasn't that bad. Give her a break. I just thought it was a little harsh. And Anthony, I want somebody to find Anthony. I want somebody to fall for Anthony because he seems like he's a really, really great guy. It doesn't seem like the women are really gravitating to him like the other men. I don't know if the women have friend zoned Anthony, but I want to see him find somebody, if not in this show. Because I'm trying to figure out. That's why I call them the wild cards. I don't even know who I would connect him with. But I want to know before we jump off, who's your favorite cast member? Let me know in the comments who your favorite cast member is for the show, for the men and for the women. And I'm going to tell you my favorites, but I want to know your favorites as well. Who are your favorites? So who are you rooting for to make it to the end? They're going to be, I think, 3 couples. They're looking for 3 couples, so 6 people. My favorites, I think for the women, my favorite, I have 2. One is Joy. I love her energy. I think she is beautiful. I think she is smart. I think she has a kind heart. And so I really, really like her. And I also like Alex. I like her spirit. I like how kind she seems to be, because y'all know this is TV. I like how she projects herself. So those are the women that I really like. The men that I really like on this show, I really like Edwin. He's the chef. He just seems nice. He's the one with the salt and pepper, gray hair. He just seems nice and kind to me. I like him. He's one of my favorites. And let me see, who was the other one? And Anthony. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for the 2 of them to find love. I don't know if Jay is there to find love. I think Jay's still running game. And right below that, I don't know if Rashid's there to find love. I'm not sure. He could be. I could be wrong. But those are my favorites. Those are the people that I'm rooting for to find love. And the last question I wanted to ask y'all, and y'all let me know in the comments as well, is, do you think these kinds of shows work? This is the 3rd season for Ready to Love, and I was following some of the updates, and I think just about every couple is now not together. So, do you think reality TV dating shows work? Whether it's The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Ready for Love, whatever it is, do you think this is a good avenue to find the person that God has for you? Or do you think that there are better ways to do it? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to just kind of jump on here and do this. And I'm considering for the remainder of the season, just weekly, because that was a long recap for those 6 episodes. Just maybe on a Tuesday night around the same time, just kind of rehashing the previous episode. So the episode that comes on this Friday, maybe going over that or kind of talking about that on next Tuesday. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. I'd love to kind of do that. And also to let you know, on next Monday night, we have a very, very special Church Girl Chats. I do that live the first Monday in every month. So we have a very special Church Girl Chats. I have two powerful men of God that are going to be joining me. We're going to be talking about why do you want to get married? What is the purpose of marriage? And so I'm so excited. They were with me on November's show when we talked about preparing men for marriage. And so they'll be joining me again next week. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you all for joining me and hanging out with me for these few moments. I um I enjoyed it. I might do more of this. This was fun. This was fun. I pray you all have a great week and that you had a happy Thanksgiving and that you are gearing up for a wonderful Christmas season. Good night.